Good day, everybody. Hope you're well. So, today I am asking job seekers and those people who have been unfortunate enough to lose their jobs over the last while to become that creative director of your own online brand and your CV profile. And what I found from certain coaching sessions over the last while with clients is that people are struggling to engage properly with recruitment consultants and control that interaction. Equally, to get feedback from hiring companies that they apply directly to for roles as well. So, it's a great time to be able to step back. And in coaching, we would say adopt the helicopter view, so the meta view. And I put a link to this in the post afterwards as well, so you can check it out. So this is almost stepping away, allowing you to see the wood from the trees, if you like, and take a retrospective look back at your career for the last number of years and see what the achievements were, where you pleased the client, where you were satisfied with a week's work essentially, and then get those down in bullet points onto your CV. And all of a sudden you get a lot of achievements and a very different view of your CV essentially, and it gives it a different flavor. So I guess what we need to do as well, and I've seen it from coaching clients over the last while, is reframe how we look at success. And again, I'll put a link in the post for that in terms of reframing. So it's looking at achievements and duties and etc., and looking at things essentially through a different lens. So what one person may see is, not important enough to put on a CV. Somebody else, Killian, might think, I think it really, really, really needs to be jumping, off the page in my CV. So somebody might see it as, a mundane duty. Somebody else might see it as an achievement. So that's where getting a second opinion from a career coach as well is also vital before you push your CV out onto your job platforms, to your recruitment agencies, and to apply for roles as well. So as I said, reframe, take a step back. Take your time and look, give it the time to kind of see where your past achievements were, where you pleased the client, where you had engaged in some great teamwork, where your boss was happy with you, or where you yourself were happy with a day's or a week's work as well. Equally, when I look at people's LinkedIn's, one of the tools that you can use is put in that you're actively seeking roles. So where it says on your name, so Killian O'Leary, directly after that in your headliner, you can say actively seeking roles in the Cork area. So if a recruiter or a company or HR person within a company stumbles across your LinkedIn profile, they're acutely aware from looking at your headliner that you are actively seeking roles. And recruiters sometimes do search for a word actively seeking on LinkedIn profiles as well. So you have a greater chance of coming to their attention if you have that on your profile also. And just one thing to call out as well, anything that you do on your CV, any change that you make sure that's mirrored across on your CV or on your LinkedIn profile as well, because consistency across both is really important and it builds trust for the person reading your CV also. Additionally, when it comes to LinkedIn, if you have people who you've worked with over the last while, clients, senior colleagues, etc., and they're prepared to give you recommendations, ask, will they publicly give you a recommendation on LinkedIn? Because again, if somebody sees your profile and sees all these recommendations about the great things you've done, it builds familiarity and it gives them a sense that you are a really high achiever as well. So that could be important. And one last thing when you're constructing your CV is take a look at different job specs for similar job titles that you would apply for, and then look to see the buzzwords that companies are putting into their job specs right now, and cross-reference with your CV that if you have that experience, that it's included on your CV, and you're preparing for that Control F search on your CV then, if you like, to make sure it again comes to their attention, the recruiter's attention. Because I've lost count over the years of the amount of people who have achieved so many different things, but yet it's not on their CV. So the CV is the vehicle to grasp the attention of an intended audience. It's the vehicle to get you your interview, and after that you sell yourself. But if it's not on the CV, it can't be found, and the recruiter is none the wiser essentially. So there are a couple of tools as well to reach out for. So it's reframing how we look at success, and then also taking a step back, that helicopter view, the meta view, as we say in coaching as well, to see the wood from the trees essentially, and really call out those achievements on your profile. Can be worth doing for sure. So I'll put a couple of links on the post as well, folks. Hope you found that useful, and just be aware, that anything you do in your CV, it needs to be consistent on your LinkedIn. The actively seeking on your headline on LinkedIn can be a real eye catcher for recruiters as well. Hope that was useful. Take care and be that creative director. Take the ownership now of your CV and your online brand. Hopefully that's useful. Take care.